Hi, Ruben here. Remember at the end of my video for Blade Trap, and I was talking about the new build I wanted to make. My Blade Trap champion hit 98, and I was like, it's time to move on to another build. And I said I was gonna try to build a Saboteur that uses the same mechanics as the Blade Trap champion. I was very keen on getting it to work, and this is pretty much the finalized build. So I'm going to briefly talk about the skill passive tree as well as the items and the core mechanics of this build that it kind of seems a little crazy. Like there's just way too many things going on, but somehow it works, right? So remember we talked about Mahuzotls giving you Everlasting Sacrifice. So Everlasting Sacrifice, when you reach full energy shield, sacrifice all energy shield to gain 5% to all maximum resistances for 4 seconds, right? On the Blade Trap Champion, we use Ghost Dance to be able to replenish this, to basically max it out every time Ghost Dance gets procced. In this case, with the Sabo, you can't, I mean, that's not the intention here, but I'll show you exactly why it's not that important, right? Secondly, there are things that the Sabo doesn't really use. So Eternal Youth is something that the champion doesn't really use. And Eternal Youth doesn't really get used by the champion build because there's not many reliable ways to proc it and sustain it. But for Sabo, there's something interesting because you're a shadow class, right? You can basically get ascendancies from Trickster. You can actually get Spellbreaker. So what does Spellbreaker do? Spellbreaker basically gives you 20% chance to suppress, and it gives you 50% chance to start energy shield recharge on the spell suppression. So what does that mean? So every time you suppress spell damage, 50% of the time you will trigger an energy shield recharge. But because you're using a Mahuzotls, Mahuzotls will turn that energy shield recharge into life recharge, right? And then life recharge is around 33% life per second. And how do you steroid this? And you basically run this cheap ass talisman that no one actually wants. I bought this for almost 10 chaos, for 10 chaos. I had to anoint this for, I think the anoints cost way more. The anoints was like 100 chaos at least. But yeah, so if you look at this, what it says is it has a 191% increased energy shield recharge rate during any flask effect. Now you can get flask effect, your flask to take effect anytime with flagellant flask, which is what I have right now. So with flagellant flask, your flask will have a permanent duration, and that means you always have your flask up, which means you always have a 191% increased energy shield recharge rate during any flask effect, and that means you have almost 100% life being recharged every time recharge starts. Now, or how do you get life to continue recharging? So energy shield recharge usually stops when you take damage, right? But with Wicked Ward, um, energy shield recharge is not interrupted by damage if recharge began recently. 40% less energy shield recharge rate. This 40% less energy shield recharge rate does not apply to life recharge because life recharge is a separate stat. However, the increased energy shield recharge rate is going to apply to life recharge. What does that mean? You never get any of the downsides of this, and you only get the upside of this. So this basically ensures that you have 200, basically 100% of your life, almost 100% of your life recharge every second that is uninterrupted for 4 seconds straight. So as long as you are you triggering a recharge, you will have basically 100% of your life recharge every second. What other sources of recharge can we get? Like, how else can we proc recharge to start? The other is Devouring Diadem. So Devouring Diadem says 10% chance for energy shield recharge to start when you use a skill, right? So that means if you're attacking, you're flame dashing, you're moving around with mobility skills, you're using your guard skill, you're casting a curse, or you're using your traps, right? You're going to be able to have a 10% chance to start energy shield recharge, which is uninterrupted for 4 seconds, that recharges 100% of your life. So you can see that how this is a pretty strong defensive mechanic, allows you to pretty much stay alive uh, to almost anything that doesn't one-shot you, right? Uh, and and then also because you have a pretty high amount of evasion, right? You're using Determination Grace. So if you look at here, your evasion rating is for almost 40k, and your armor is at 30k. That means it's very unlikely for you to get hit because it's very hard to get hit. If you have also, I have a Watcher's Eye as well that gives me 6% chance to evade attacks while affected by Grace. This gives me an 88% chance to evade attacks. It could be more, I know, but this is good as it is. And then the physical damage from hits taken as fire damage, which is affected by affected by purity of fire, that helps to mitigate the fizz incoming damage, right? Okay, what else is there? Okay, there's also the Eldritch Battery and the Mind over Matter layer. So whenever I have Energy Shield and Energy Shield is not depleted to 0, it acts as a EHP buffer for the damage I take. So 40% of the damage I take goes to my Energy Shield, which is protecting my mana because of Mind over Matter. Yeah, it's a Mind over Matter Eldritch Battery mechanic. Yeah. So with all this defensive mechanics, how do I scale damage? I scale damage by Secrets of Suffering on the Devouring Item. The Devouring Item has Explosive Trap, 2 additional smaller explosions. I also have a 6-link here, so this is a 6-link Explosive Trap with the levels on Skin of the Lords, and I'm also running Slave Driver's Hands. This gives me about close to I think 46 mil DPS with average number of hits on the explosive trap. And then also my rings have cast speed and my belt has trap throwing speed. All right, let me briefly talk about the passive tree. If you look at the passives, apart from Sabo, you're going up here, and then you get the life. You get the elemental damage. I mean, you can avoid this. You don't really need this, but you get the critical chance. The crit chance and crit multi are great. You go here, you get Leaf Shade to deal with damage over time. You're pathing here to get Wicked Watt, and as you path here, get Wicked Watt, you get the crit multi-nodes. You also have the crit ascendancy, so a 50% effect of non-damaging elements is great with Secrets of Suffering, as well as crit strike multiplier against unique enemies from the other crit node. So there's another crit mastery here. So you get the life here and the ES. You grab here, you go here and you grab the reservation nodes. So the reservation mastery, you get auras from skills have 10% increased effect on you, as well as the increased damage for each of your aura or hero skills affecting you. You get it here as well. You path down here, you get the high explosives, so crit multi and crit chance. You grab some skitterbots as reservation efficiency, and then you get ghost dance. Path here, you get power charges, and you get frenzy charges. This is for your cluster. What's it called? Cluster traps? Charge trap? No. Charge traps, yeah. You're getting this for charge traps, right? You go path here, you get the life. You go here, you get clusters. So the cluster you get is a physical cluster. And then you go Iron Breaker, Battle Harden, Force Multiplier. And then you get for medium clusters, you get Guerrilla Tactics. You have Surprise Sabotage, Guerrilla Tactics, and Arcane Pyrotechnics. You path here, you get the reservation nodes. You also get critical strike chances increased by chance to suppress spell damage. You get the sockets here. So you can get the this draw. Balance of Terror is great, especially with physical damage or random element is you get 35% physical as a random element if you cast Elemental Weakness in the past 10 seconds. This is a 35% more multiplier on damage. You go here, you get Frenzy Charges. You get the life here. You get the evasion nodes here, the evasion life nodes here. You get Grace Reservation Efficiency. You get 5% chance to throw 4 additional traps. This is more damage. You get Tempered by War here with your Lethal Pride Rakiatas. And then you get the reservation nodes here. Alright. Let's briefly go into the skill links. You have Infernal Legion support on Skitterbots. This is to ensure that Skitterbots will burn. That allows you to have burn, chill, and shock applied, which gives you explosive expert, all of the bonuses on explosive expert. Defiance banner, and down here you have determination, purity of fire, and grace, along with enlightened support. You have faster casting on your elemental weakness and your bear trap. For your 6-link, you have divergent explosive trap to get it to almost 100% elemental. You have concentrated effect support. You need the cold damage as well here to proc Secrets of Suffering, concentrated effect, and power. Trap and mind damage support, divergent charge trap support, swift assembly support on your 6-link, right? And then down here you have Molten Shell, increased duration, divine blessing, and hatred. So hatred, you cast hatred whenever your ES goes up. and then you get the buff. Right, Molten Shell is bound to left click, so you'll have it up almost half the time because Molten Shell right now has a cooldown 3.77 and the buff lasts 4.92. So you have a more than a 50% uptime on this Molten Shell. You have Shield Charge, Flame Dash, and Fast Attacks. I'll likely put a Life Tap here just to be able to cast this whenever, even when my mana is low. When it comes to Flask, you have Quartz Flask. You can swap this out with Quicksilver. It really depends on your comfort level. I prefer a Quartz Flask. Actually, I really do need to swap this for Quicksilver, but whatever. You have Careful Eternal Life Flask with Sealing, so this deals with Corrupted Blood and Bleeding. Silver Flask with Cast Speed. Flagellants, all of these flasks are flagellant except for the Life Flask. You have a Jade Flask with Evasion Rating and a Granite Flask with Armor Rating. I've been kind of standing in Delve for the past 5 minutes. This is only a level Delve depth of 276, but as you can tell, this is a Sabo, and usually Sabos don't do things like this. So I just wanted to kind of give you a little bit of this showcase so you can see the strength of the build. Hope you enjoyed this, and I'll be out. Peace.